The World Championship Sidecar 1992 knew 7 Grand Prix races in 6 European countries. Team Hollywood Sidecar was present with 2 remarkable riders. The first one is Egbert Stroyer. The list of honours of this 38-year-old rider is most impressive. He won the world title in the sidecar class in 1984, 85 and 86. In the 13 years of participating in the World Championship, he won 21 Grand Prix races. His biggest triumphs were for his home spectators on the TT circuit in Assen in the Netherlands in 1987 and 91. Last year, Egbert Stroyer entered number 3 in the championship. One of Egbert Stroyer's main rivals in the sidecar races is Rolf Bieland. The 41-year-old Swiss is known as the phenomenon on 3 wheels. He won the world sidecar title 4 times. He won as many as 60 Grand Prix races. This makes him the most successful Grand Prix rider of all time still active in racing. Bieland started his Grand Prix career in 1974. In 1988, he caused quite a stir on the Jerez circuit by clocking up a faster lap than the 500cc solo class. In 1991, Bieland ended the World Championships in 2nd place. It was an enormous surprise when Egbert Stroyer proposed to have his rival Rolf Bieland ride a machine in the Hollywood colours. Stroyer reasoned that by riding his own built bike, he took a risk concerning the publicity of Hollywood. His Strador machine would still have to prove what it is worth. For Rolf Bieland, the sponsorship of Hollywood was a ministering angel. The Hollywood teams Stroyer Brown and Bieland Waltersburg ride their own races during all the Grand Prix events. Having engaged last year's number 2 and 3, Team Hollywood Sidecar started the championship of 1992 with the opportunity to have 2 riders on the rostrum. During practice in Spain, Stroyer's LCR outfit turned upside down when he braked too late for a corner. Lucky there wasn't so much damage to the outfit and Stroyer only felt stiff. On the circuit of Jerez, surrounded by a record of 230,000 spectators, Stroyer left the starting grid as one of the last. His engine didn't fire up well. After 2 laps, Stroyer felt problems with his rear tyre. His tyre manufacturer had supplied the wrong compound, and Stroyer even had trouble to get in the midfield. At the end of the race, his rear tyre was gone, and Stroyer Brown were even lucky to finish in 9th place. The hot weather proved to be a big problem for the tyre choice, not only for Stroyer Brown. The Swiss aces of the Hollywood team Bieland Waltersburg had to retire after 8 laps. Bieland said that his engine broke down. But if that hadn't happened, he wasn't sure to finish the race because of tyre troubles. And the results, the winner, Webster Simmons, Great Britain. Number 2, Klaffenbach-Parser, Austria. Number 3, Brindley White, Great Britain. Stroyer's LCR combination, called Strador, is the realization of his long-cherished wish to build his own sidecar bike. Stroyer himself designed and developed the bike. The name is derived from the 2 technicians behind the project, Egbert Stroyer and Rinus Dorgelo. The engine concept has been known to Stroyer for years. It was to be a horizontally opposed engine. The design of the engine had 3 main aims. It had to be a compact engine, it had to be affordable, and it had to be easy on the mechanics. Let's see whether this engine proved itself in Hockenheim, the 2nd race of the championship. But what happened here at the start? Stroyer here at the right doesn't move at all. There goes Webster Simmons breaking away. In the first lap, Stroyer had to withdraw from the race with a broken conrod. Klaffenbach and Webster lead the race. Here we see Webster and Klaffenbach almost touch each other at 190 kilometers an hour. Bieland was faced with tyre troubles again. He passed the finish as number 8. A disappointing race for both Hollywood teams. So far in this championship, Webster leads with 40 points, Klaffenbach follows with 30 points, then Kumayaga with 20 points, and Brindley and Goodall share a 4th place. Bieland and Stroyer don't appear in the top 5 yet. Although we often talk about the rider, there's no race without the passenger. The passenger takes care of the balance of the bike, which determines the speed at which the combination can go into the corners. With the moving of his weight, he steers the machine. Here we see 36-year-old Briton Peter Brown at work. Brown rode his first Grand Prix in 1985 with rider Tony Smith. Brown and Stroyer made a dream debut during the TT of Assen in 1991. Rolf Bieland has caught Woltersberg in his sidecar. This 39-year-old Swiss rode his first Grand Prix in 1978 with rider Thomas Müller. It may be called a record that this year he races at the side of Rolf Bieland for the 14th year in succession. At the third round on the Dutch circuit in Assen, Bieland made a magnificent start. He ensured that passenger Woltersberg was putting all his weight over the sidecar wheels to keep all the weight off the rear wheel. Steve Webster said that he certainly tried all he could, but that Bieland played an ace card that day. Here, Egbert Stroyer makes a terrible start. He said he perfected it during practice, so that it was his fault and had nothing to do with the machine. Bieland led the race from start to finish. Webster Simmons finished second, Klaffenbach-Paser third, and Stroyer-Brown fourth. Bieland will have to ride some terrific races really soon to get to the top. Will he be able to beat Webster Simmons in the Hungarian race? Here again, Bieland started off very well with Klaffenbach and Webster right behind. During the race, Bieland felt that the grip of his tyres was so good that he could ride harder into the corners. The perfect tyre choice produced the second victory in a row for Bieland Woltersberg. Bieland claimed his 62nd Grand Prix victory, which strengthened his third place in the title battle. Egbert Stroyer and Peter Brown put in enormous consistent lap times. They were within half a second of having the same time on every lap. Stroyer-Brown finished fifth, which gave them a sixth place in the title battle. And the results, first Bieland Woltersberg, Webster Simmons second, Klaffenbach-Paser third. The participation in the World Championship sidecar happens in teams. The teams are much bigger than the two persons we see in the actual race. The team behind the racers takes care of them, maintains the machine and handles the sponsorship relations. Really, Stroyer-Brown and Bieland Woltersberg are more than the two of them. So, what happened with these teams in the fifth title round in Manukau? Although he considers the pole position is on the wrong side of the track, Bieland got off a flying start and he maintained his lead during the whole race. Stroyer started from the second row of the grid, but a good clean getaway saw him up to fourth place on the first corner. Stroyer used a different engine to the one he ran in Hungary, and he thinks the good start was down to having a better clutch. Stroyer was behind Webster for some time and thought that he was braking too early for the corners. He decided to get ahead of him in case Klaffenbach pulled too far ahead. After a tussle with the Austrian, Stroyer finally got the advantage and was in a clear second place after British driver Darren Dixon struck trouble. After 5 rounds, the World Championship points stand with Webster on 80, Klaffenbach 66 and Bieland 63. Did you ever wonder how it feels to ride in a sidecar? Well, welcome on board. Enjoy your ride with Egbert Stroyer and imagine you are Peter Brown. Donington Park, where the 6th round took place, the most important thing is to get a good start. Bieland did just that. In the first lap, he was going a little slow, though, and British driver Darren Dixon saw that as a chance and took the lead. But Dixon then went into the corner too fast and went into a slide in front of Bieland. It was a very close thing. Klaffenbach-Paser did not start in this race. Paser was injured by an accident during training. Streuer had a coming together with Bossinger at the chicane. Bossinger went onto the grass and came back in front of Streuer, who just caught his rear end. Streuer lost the fairing nose of his outfit and had quite a job to keep his machine on the ground. Bieland won the round and Streuer arrived number 9. Bieland-Waltersburg again first. Second, Dixon Hetherington. Third, Webster Simmons, Great Britain. Baumhorst Hiller from Germany were fourth, and the Egloff brothers from Switzerland, number 5. As you see, Bieland is closing in on Webster very rapidly. Will he be able to make it? At this moment in the championship, Bieland feels he's in a chance of winning the championship again, with the possibility of 3 more rounds to come, and with Webster only 9 points in the lead. Webster Simmons won the world title not less than 4 times in the last 5 years. Klaffenbach-Paser, here with number 19, came up surprisingly well in this championship. Last year they ended 15th. At this point in time, they certainly have a chance to win the title. What nobody knew at this moment, though, was that the battle would be fought in only one more race. Let's see what happened in that race in the Netherlands. In this exciting climax to the 1992 season, Bieland sat in second place for the first 4 laps behind reigning champions Webster Simmons. Then for 10 laps, Bieland and Webster changed places for the lead, and Bieland opened up a 1-second advantage. And what happened here? Webster Simmons, leading the championship before Assen, was forced out of the race with a broken gear lever in the 20th of 26 laps. And when Team Hollywood member Bieland eased off to win the championship, Dutchman Streuer with passenger Brown slid through for victory. British pair Darren Dixon and Andrew Hetherington finished third. "The luck has turned on our side," said Bieland. Streuer said it was great to win in front of his home crowd. Bieland rode for the championship. Streuer had to try and win the race. See how happy they are. Rolf Bieland and Kurt Waltersburg have clinched their 5th championship success. Their Dutch teammates Egbert Streuer and Peter Brown claimed their first Grand Prix victory of the year, which places them 4th in the championship. Klaffenbach-Paser moved up from last year's 15th place to 3rd this year. The victorious pair from Switzerland were overwhelmed with their victory.
It was a long, hard season. In the end, we need a little bit of luck. So the luck is turning to our team. I'll be happy today, for sure.
Yes, he's very happy. But what did Kurt Waltersburg think of it?
Ich bin sehr glücklich, weil
he says justice is done. We had some bad luck, but now we've had some good luck. And he's very, very happy about it all.